Remember Winter Storm Uri? It led to major power outages, grid failures, and even deaths. The New York Times blames Bitcoin mining for all of these tragedies. But the truth is, freezing temperatures caused gas and oil wells to shut down, leading to a decreased amount of energy production. So when you read the New York Times article, they reference 2 studies, but they don't give the actual methodologies for these studies. And it's very clear when you read it and you understand the energy sector that they don't understand the difference between marginal emissions and average grid emissions. In reality, Bitcoin shares high marginal emissions with other green technologies like energy storage and heat pumps. As countries work towards reducing emissions, marginal emissions will decrease. Targeting Bitcoin mining alone is extremely misleading, especially because Bitcoin mining has some of the biggest benefits to the energy sector. The truth is, Bitcoin mining is one of the strongest levers that we have as a society to fight climate change. Bitcoin mining uses a tremendous amount of renewable energy, and Bitcoin mining is the key to addressing a lot of the problems with methane that we have as a society. Many people don't know this, but methane is 84 times worse for global warming than carbon dioxide. So if you try and take out our society's best lever against removing methane from the environment, then you are significantly slowing down our capabilities to addressing global warming. This is the opposite of this narrative that's being painted in this article. One of the big keys with Bitcoin mining is how it can co-locate with renewable energy. The sun isn't shining 24 hours a day. These renewable energy sources are intermittent power sources. Locating Bitcoin with intermittent power sources makes the energy grid much more efficient. So let's look at Texas. Due to Bitcoin mining and its flexible demand, peaker plants have not been needed over the past couple of years in Texas. What does this mean? It means that you attack one industry that is solving this big problem and making the grid more efficient. You're forcibly taking them out of these programs that benefit the grid, that benefit you as the person, the ratepayer who needs electricity on the grid, just completely takes these miners out of this program that can benefit you. And then all of a sudden, they push forward a peaker power plant, which is going to have far more environmental impact on the environment. It's going to damage the environment. And this all just happens back to back to back. And it's not mentioned at all by the New York Times. If you're really trying to solve climate change, how are you removing this force for combating climate change and then pushing forth this money into emitting wasted energy that is also powered by fossil fuels? The Bitcoin miners were helping solve this problem, and now the grid is more fragile. Instead of all of these Texans being able to access this energy because of the Bitcoin miners, now all of a sudden this is being taken off their plate. Bitcoin miners can't help out anymore. It is really sad because the New York Times is one of those publications that every single person knows about. You don't want to see that it's putting out intentionally misleading information. I've heard about the New York Times doing hit pieces on other industries. As someone who was not in the industry, it was very hard for me to judge, especially because the New York Times does such a good job in terms of their level of writing and in terms of their cachet as a brand. But being in an industry, understanding an issue at extreme detail, and then just seeing how the New York Times is refusing to talk to other people in the industry. They're refusing to talk to me. They're refusing to talk to many other leaders who understand this information. And now they're putting out and misleading everyone else who, unless you watch a video like this or you talk to some other Bitcoin miner, it's very easy to read this one article, which is a long article. I think it's 27 minutes to read or to listen to the audio on, and you could be completely misled on what's actually happening. So instead of combating climate change, instead of combating global warming, instead of leveraging this new technology to improve our energy grid, you're going to remove it and make it much more difficult. And to really give you an example here, to make it clear, let's say that you are not in the Western world, you're living in some other area where the energy consumption is a lot less. Your access to energy is being slowed down as we speak. Bitcoin mining makes it easy to build and bootstrap these energy resources for you in countries around the world. And in the US, it's going to make energy much more expensive if you don't implement this new technology. I don't know about you, but if I was living in Texas right now, I would be calling up my politicians. I'd be upset that they are doing this and going to make it where your grid's less efficient. There are multiple parts within the article where people have been calling out how misleading this article was. Not only are they intentionally leaving out a lot of important facts that are so important to the article. They're leaving out so much crucial information, but they also are purposely misleading by doctoring these images. It was shown that these images that they were using throughout the article, they were putting filters and editing these graphics. They were editing these images to make it look like there was smog happening around all of these Bitcoin mining facilities. At the end of the day, energy consumption is being painted as something that's bad. But when you look at human civilization, all improvements that have been made have been us being able to harness energy in a better way. At no point in time does this article ever talk about the benefit or the value that Bitcoin provides. And it's just talking about how bad it is that it's consuming energy. Anytime you cook, anytime you use electricity, if you want to build buildings, if you want to build infrastructure, if you want to build hospitals, if you want to create schools, all these things take more and more energy. And so just to say that something consumes energy equals bad, it would mean everything on the planet's bad. It would be anti-civilization. Humans, at the end of the day, if you want people to survive, it requires consuming energy. The big question is your energy consumption worth the value that it provides? And in every single part of this article is trying to undermine the value of Bitcoin. Bitcoin mining is going to help you leverage wasted energy, capture pollution, build up renewable energy. All of this trends towards making electricity closer to free. A better civilization in the future requires cheaper energy. If you have cheaper energy, you can build more, you can support more people, you can create a better life for more people. Bitcoin mining helps build up energy sources, makes it economical. So I hope this video helped share the other side of the story of what Bitcoin mining is, what its true effect is on the environment, and what is going on with this New York Times hit piece. Rather than looking at this hit piece and trying to divide people and get them to attack new technology, I think that we should go out there, seek the truth, and find out how we can actually leverage this technology to combat climate change and to improve the way that our energy system functions. By adapting new technology, things get better. Unfortunately, if these types of things continue where we ban good technologies in the US, that's just going to go to other countries. At the end of the day, this is not going to shut down Bitcoin. All it's going to do is going to give money that could be benefiting your community and pushing it out somewhere else. Also, do you want to help combat climate change while earning Bitcoin? My mission is to improve humanity's relationship with money and energy. At Saz Mining, we make it easy for people to combat climate change by leveraging the technology around Bitcoin mining. You can check out Saz Mining's link in the description to learn more about this powerful technology for the planet. And if you're fascinated by Bitcoin and Bitcoin mining topics, then subscribe because you'll love the content that we produce on this channel. That's it for me today. I'll see you in the next one.